Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I am very pleased to tell you that the future of gaming is drift-free. Or at least it can be. Yes, Joy-Con drift, a bit of a nuisance at best, and an absolute catastrophic miscarriage of justice at worst. But there is a new technology. It's not technically new, but it's kind of new in this application. Means that we may not have to worry about drift being a thing ever again, which is frankly fabulous. But in order to properly talk about it, I feel like I need to explain what drift is, because I think for a lot of people, they know it's a bad thing, but they don't really know what's going on. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. Right, drift, how does it happen? Well, first of all, I'm going to have to explain what the actual sticks, how they actually work is, and they work using something called potentiometers. And I'm going to be simplifying this enormously because one, I'm not an electrical engineer, and two, it would be boring. So the way that potentiometers work is that you have what is essentially a resistive strip. So a material in a strip that is resistive, as in it resists current. And that is connected to a terminal at the top, and then there's another terminal. There's another terminal at the end here, but let's not worry about that. Another terminal touches this resistive strip and can be moved back and forth. And obviously, because this resists, the further down away from this terminal you put it, the more it resists. And you can measure that. Let's say the terminals are essentially touching, and you've got a resistance value of, for argument's sake, 0. But then as you move it all the way down to the bottom, you've got a resistance value of 1 here. Just, you know, arbitrary numbers. But then, what's between 0 and 1? A lot of blooming decimals! And when you measure that resistance, you can turn that into a value in a game. So you can say, oh, 0 is left and 1 is right, and everything in between, well, right in the middle, that's nothing. But this is a little bit left, and this is a little bit right, and you've got analog control. Then all you need to do is stick another one perpendicular to do up and down. You got up, down, left, right, and everything in between in a big blinking circle. Technically a square, but let's not get into that. The problem with this is that if anything gets in the way of that contact, be it dust, debris, little bits of the potentiometer that have been worn away from going up and down all the time, or even little bits of food if you're a filthy person, that is going to affect the result, because we're talking about resistance, and stuff in between that does not conduct electricity is going to increase your resistance. It's a problem. This is even more pronounced on Joy-Con because they use a much smaller system, and also the bed of the potentiometer is actually, well, if the Joy-Con's flat like that, it's the floor, which means that which means that dust and debris falls in, lands, and it doesn't move. If it was up like that, it would probably fall down, but it doesn't. But drift can happen on any stick. Any stick that uses potentiometers can have this problem. It happens on Pro controllers. It happened on mine. One of mine. The difference is that sticks in larger controllers like Pro controllers and Xbox and PlayStation and stuff like that, the potentiometers are quite a bit bigger and there's more space and you can kind of spray cleaner into them and it kind of gets it all out. But the Joy-Con, it's got nowhere to go because it's that flat bed, all the debris and everything, it kind of just sits there. You can clean them, but it is nowhere near as simple. So what's the solution to a drift-free future? Well, it's been staring us in the face the entire time. Hall effect sensors. These do not require that physical contact in order to get a measurement. Instead, they rely on magnets. How do they work? I genuinely can't work it out. Something to do with the Hall effect and like passing current and like permanent magnets. I am not the best person to talk to about it. But the important point is there is no physical contact between two moving things, which is what causes the problem in potentiometers, so it gets over that hurdle. I've actually got some controllers that use Hall effect sensing technology in order to make their sticks work, and I'm gonna let you know what they're like. Oh. So first of all, this one's been out for a while. It is the GuliKit King Kong 2 Pro controller, or is it King Kong Pro 2? King Kong 2 Pro. I'll talk about the sticks in a moment, but as a controller, it's okay. There are some things I like, some things I don't. It feels relatively comfortable in the hand overall. The buttons feel overall pretty good, although the L and R buttons, that ain't pleasant. The center buttons aren't actually in the center, which is quite irritating, but the biggest problem that I have with it is latency. There is just there is some input lag, and it's not significant for a lot of games, but I tried using the gyro in Splatoon 3. It's a write-off. It's I can really feel it there, and it's just not usable for me. But what about the sticks and their newfangled Hall effect sensors? They're really excellent. Like, they are really excellent. I am by no means a control stick snob, but I've been using them pretty much, not quite my entire life, but even so, an awful lot of my life. Certainly all of my adult life and teenage life. And these are absolutely excellent. Like, you sort of think when you're talking about magnets and stuff like that, that there's going to be something in the way, something holding you back. You know, magnets, in my view, are always something that's sort of indistinct. But clearly I'm wrong, and I have a very poor view of magnets, because these are exceptionally good sticks. They are really exceptional. I can notice it most when I'm in the like the calibration screen on the Switch, whereas, you know, I'll use like my Pro Controller or something, and I'll move the stick around, and very occasionally you'll get a thing where you're rotating it like that, and it comes away from the side, and it's not you, but it's super minor, but still not a jot of it on this. I can't fault the sticks. I really can't. But that's not all. I also have the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth controller. Ultimate, eh? This is a more premium product overall compared to the Ghoulie Kit example. It does have Hall effect sensors, and again, I'll talk about those in a moment. The buttons are lovely and responsive. They all feel really nice. Like, this is the LNR. Oh, the middle buttons are actually in the middle. You got some extra buttons at the back for, you know, if you want to do some extra stuff, you can download an app on your phone and tell it to do Y or something on one of them and A on the other, or anything you like, really. And, you know, the D-pad is absolutely wonderful. It is basically a spit of the D-pad from the SNES, and that is just mwah. Input latency, not an issue. It's fantastic. It's as good as the Pro Controller as far as I can tell. What holds it back is the shape. And it may not be coming across immediately, but it is quite a different shape to the Pro Controller. It's nowhere near as tapered on the handles. It's a lot straighter. And as a result, in my big hands, it's kind of pushing against it. It's sort of forcing my wrists to pronate down. I use this for a good number of nights, and I was noticing that my wrists were hurting, and I thought to myself, oh, you know, it's probably just down to using a keyboard and mouse all day, because I do have problems with my wrists. It's just part of what comes from using a computer as your primary source of income. So I didn't think too much of it, and then I went back to the official Pro Controller, and yeah, it was immediately more comfortable. I was always trying to sort of fan my hands out a little bit like that in order to get that wider feel. It's a shame, because other than that, it is a wonderful controller. And the sticks, exactly the same as the King Kong. Maybe even marginally better, and I think that's maybe just down to the feel of the caps and things like that. The stuff underneath, the accuracy, the actual Hall effect sensor, absolutely spectacular. You know, it's really super stupid accurate. And I love those sticks as a result. And it's not a wonder that they feel as good as the Ghoulie Kit, because these sticks, the Hall effect the Hall effect sensors are the same. The sticks are manufactured by Ghoulie Kit. So clearly, they're carving out a little bit of a name for themselves, and they're doing a bloody good job. But what's this, I hear maybe 4 of you cry who have already looked at the chapters at the bottom? Yes, unfortunately, there is a bit of a sad truth about this, and that even though Hall effect sensors are here, it's not a new technology. I think I said it was new earlier. It's not really. It's been around for donkey's years. It's even been used in some controllers in the past, but like specialist controllers like flight sticks and stuff. The sad truth is that because it's new technology, it's going to take a while for other companies, bigger companies, to adopt them. And the likelihood is they might not. Let's be honest, the Pro Controller, even for using potentiometers, yeah, it gets stick drift, but, you know, my old Pro Controller, which is still absolutely fine, I just wanted a new one because my, like, skin had, like, corroded away and it was all shiny and stuff. Not good. But even my old Pro Controller works absolutely fine. You know, it's arguably not as accurate as a Hall effect sensing stick, But it works, and it's cheap. It's a lot cheaper, in fact. You know, you can buy the replacement sticks for the inside of this. Don't think it's as easy as just swapping them out. You do need to desolder. Be careful. But if you do want to buy the replacement stick potentiometers and stuff like that, they cost nothing. You know, like less than £1 if you look in the right place and you buy enough. Which is ridiculous. Less than $1, I imagine, even. As for Hall effect sensors, well, they're invariably going to be more expensive because, again, we are dealing with a new technology. I cannot put bigger quotation marks around that. Fewer manufacturers are making them, the demand is lower, therefore the price is going to be higher. That's just how things work. Supply and demand. And sad Alex. I would adore it if bigger companies like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, they all started using Hall effect sensors in their controllers, but it's going to raise the price. And raising the price means raising the price for consumers. They don't want to do that. They want to try, you know, maybe they could keep the price the same, but then their margins would be smaller, you know? It's all a balancing act, and right now, potentiometers work. The only way you're going to be able to sell them is as a premium feature, and thankfully, we are going to be able to at some point soon. They're not saying anything, but GuliKit are releasing Hall effect sensors for Joy-Con. That's fantastic. The other much more minorly sad truth is, we don't know what the long-term longevity of Hall effect sensing sticks are. We don't know, you know, sort of, yeah, there's nothing rubbing up against it, but it's using a permanent magnet. Permanent magnets degrade. Yes, it's an incredibly slow process. Before anyone rushes down to the comments, it's a very slow process. You know, permanent magnets can last well over 100 years, but we don't know what the effect is for using them in this application. You know, this hasn't really been done before. This is new ground. You know, it may not be new technology, but it is at least new ground. They may be absolutely fine and last for, you know, decades. That would be amazing. But right now, we just don't know. So it's kind of exciting in a way. Is it gonna break? Is it gonna be fine? Whoa! My money's on it would be fine overall, just because no contact and stuff like that. But at the same time, I know naff all about magnets, so... And there you have it. The future of video games may well be drift-free if big companies allow it. What do you think? Do you think Hall effect sensors are fantastic, or do you think they're just going to be forgotten about in 5 years? Let us know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you try and drift over to that subscribe button only to find out that technology's moved on, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. One is left and 0 is right, and everything in between, or it's a bit left, or it's a bit right.